Hey guys, Chris and PJ here live in the Dream Giveaway Garage.
Happy Tuesday, Christopher.
Happy Tuesday indeed, PJ. What an exciting week it's going to be here in the Dream Giveaway Garage. Why, in 3 days, we're going to be holding that awards ceremony, right?
Right there, we're going to be putting this long prize that's here, this show and tow package, right underneath Studio A, and you'll be standing under there with your Pete Townsend windmills.
There, indeed.
Getting the winner to his lots of vehicles and lots of prizes.
That's right. Technology has really changed a lot in 60 years, hasn't it, PJ?
Oh my God, compared to the older car, even just right here, when you take a look at some of the Super Bee and stuff like this.
The Super Bee to the Hell Bee, or even the 66 Mustang to the Dark Horse Mustang, the new 7th gen. It's just so amazing how technology has changed the way that we get from point A to point B. And however you choose to get from point A to point B, we're always going to try to get you the best prizes available. And we dig the old stuff. We know that the new stuff is coming. We're going to try to give you a variety so you guys can enter to win what's going to work for your life and for your lifestyle.
Right, instead of always the internal combustion engines.
That's
You've
right.
got not only the Mach, but you got the Lightning behind you as well.
That's right. That's a good point, PJ. There are 2 electric vehicles right now in the Dream Giveaway Garage out of 18, 20. So, listen, we're not mandating the use of electric vehicles. We do have a couple of them in here for you to win.
Because some people really do enjoy that stuff.
Some people really do indeed. And we talked yesterday about some of the cool stuff on this Mach. We're going to show you a couple more features today. Do we want to sit in the car?
Yeah, let's go. Before we go any further here,
go ahead.
Roger says, is that the Butterscotch Super Bee in the background?
It is. High impact color from 1971. Let's talk about interesting paint colors. Space gray metallic is a color here.
How different is that
on
from
the Mach? Then a Cortez Silver. It looks kind of silver, but a little flatter. The Cortez Silver has more metallic. PJ, of course, referencing the 2 Chevy muscle cars in the Super Chevy Dream Giveaway. This Mach emblem, kind of reminiscent of a Mach 1 emblem, if you will.
It's almost got the Super Bee kind of look.
It kind of does, doesn't it?
With that
That's
curved
right. And there are some odds on here. So we've got some graphics on here. We have those BBS wheels. We talked about them yesterday, that those are very, very high-end wheels. And then we've got a spoiler in the back. I don't know if we've ever showed you the spoiler. We added that on there.
Chris, the front does not have any kind of airflow, right? There's no need for it,
No,
right?
there's no need. There's a frunk, and that's it. And like Ford's current design language for its EV vehicles, you don't have, your grille is a very, it's stylized. You can see what appears to be a grille behind there, but it is not a functional grille.
Because inside it's just a storage unit, right?
Correct. Same on that Ford Lightning that you'll see over there. At night, I think these look very, very cool. This, of course, will light up. And on the Lightning over there, you can see where the LED lights will wrap around the grille. I'll tell you, let's take a look here. There's even some old Ford design cues here. Look at this. How many gas? Well, they don't have full serve anymore, do they, anywhere, right? Still the same thing, because they would like Americans to be able to still understand how to fill up. So you pop the panel just like you would to fill up with gasoline.
So Chris, why would they put it up? I noticed all the electric cars, seems like Tesla.
Why is it up front and not in the back? I have no idea, PJ. But if one of you guys knows the answer to that, excuse me, then please let us know. So there you go on that. By the way, Ford has teamed up with Tesla. There are now over 100,000 charging stations, plus, I believe, another 15,000 Tesla stations that you have access to when you own a Ford EV.
Let's take a quick walk over and see that Flow charger. And we also,
excuse me.
We also have the Tesla charger still behind the wall here too.
That's right, yeah.
So I just want to quickly show everybody here the differences between the 2 of them.
Right.
Here is, we've got some of these marketing pieces here that we can just go ahead.
So here's the Flow charger right here. This is a Flow X5. And the Flow X5 is a 240 volt, 30 amp charger. plugs, very simple to use. It's actually easier to use than the handle on a gas pump. Because ever go to a gas station and that little courtesy thing so that you can kind of click it and then walk away, that they disable that for whatever reason? You don't have to worry about that. You simply plug it in. To remove it, you push on that. See that lever right there? That disengages it.
Gotcha.
And then you pull it back out. Totally easy to use. When you're done with it, you just put it back up, and there is it going to stay. There we go.
And now
Look
we've
at
got
that.
the Tesla.
A winner will get one of these, PJ.
That's right.
Now, PJ, I must tell you, it requires a licensed electrician to install it, or at least it's very highly recommended. And the reason is,
There's a lot of power going through there.
it's 240 volts at 30 amps. That will do more than knock you down. So if you're the winner, or when you get an EV, unless you really know what you're doing and you have a license to do it, then please hire a licensed electrician. That is very powerful stuff, and you don't want to hurt yourself, or you don't want to get permanently horizontal, do you?
Alan says, does the Ford charging unit come with the E-Mustang?
The flow charging unit, the X5, it's an upgraded unit with smart app connectivity. They retail for, I think, $999, so that comes with it.
Right.
In that case. Now, with the Ford Lightning, that comes with a Ford Lightning charger, with a Ford charger on that. And since it's an extended range Lightning, that comes with a 240 volt 80 amp charger that you can also put power back into your home grid, if you will, if there's a power outage. Of course, that requires professional installation and I believe a subscription.
All right.
So there you go. So that's a nice charger, very, very easy to use, PJ.
I'm going to just sneak back through here to see everybody wants to take a look
There
at
you
these
go.
unbelievable Super
Yeah, come on over to the driver's side. I'm going to show you something. Ford has been doing this since the 70s, maybe, since the 80s. So I remember Lincoln cars. You can push there. You can do keyless entry here. So you can put in a code just like an ATM pin, and you can go ahead and then, if you don't have your fob with you, to go ahead and enter the vehicle. Of course, we have it unlocked, so we're going to just hit that. Here's how you do it. I'm going to show that again.
Because it is
There's not a chrome handle like we are all used to for forever and forever, right? So here, you push this, it's electronic. The C8 Corvette has something very similar. It's a soft touch electronic push, and that opens the door. Okay?
All right. Well,
Same thing on the other side.
I'll see if I can get that one.
Same thing on the back doors as well. They have their own buttons, so you
Yeah,
can
but
get
those buttons are
in and out.
crazy.
What's that,
spots.
PJ?
These buttons are crazy areas where they're located.
That's correct. Okay, come on in.
Now there was a comment in here before we go any further that Alan said, "I'm going to win me a Mach-E, and if that Mach-E won't sing, I'll just squeal the tires." Well, we've got something even better for you.
Well,
when it comes to Mach-E's.
Right, but I know the song that Alan is referencing.
That's right.
That Mockingbird song. And if that Mockingbird don't sing, well, there you go.
So how are we going to make this sing, Chris?
How are we going to make this sing? So we're going to go to home. That's a great lead-in, by the way, PJ. Thank you for that. We're going to go here to the control settings. And then we're going to go ahead. Oh, it's already up there on the screen. Sorry about that. Go back to vehicle, I believe it is.
I believe it's up in controls.
Up in controls. There we go. And so we have some things we're going to talk about today. The first is going to be the propulsion sound. So, listen, there is debate whether this should have been called the Mustang or whether they should have called it something else. We're not here to get into that debate. You can have whatever opinion you want on it, and that's good. Our business is giving away a car. So, with that being said, there's a propulsion sound feature right here from your screen, and this will allow the vehicle to mimic an internal combustion engine sound, or as Ford says, to sound more like a Mustang. Is it gimmicky? Yeah, but I read on the forums, and there are a lot of guys who use this. It's really cool in that, we're all used to that sound when we're driving.
Vroom, vroom.
Right, and without it, you feel like, oh, geez, Plus, there's road noise that's inherent in any vehicle that you're driving, except maybe a Bentley or a Rolls Royce, right? And so this propulsion sound gives you that little bit of background sound, so you're not hearing all that road noise.
Now, Chris, you found a video out there.
I found a video. We're not going to take it out today and show you and let you listen to what that sounds like, but somebody did, and we're going to share that video with you. Okay.
Yeah, even though you don't get a good quality sound with that particular video,
yeah,
you kind of get a sense of what it's shooting. Yeah.
PJ, you're not accidentally showing things you're not supposed to show, are you?
Not at all.
Very good. So let's talk about one other thing on here. In fact, let me see if I can put that window up a little bit and obscure the background there. All right, one pedal drive. So you're like, oh, what's that, Chris? Now, I experienced this. I talked to you guys yesterday about when my wife and I rented that electric vehicle from Hertz.
Chris, there's two pedals here. How
There's
could you
two
say
pedals.
one pedal? That's like one pedal's going to
There's
go away.
two, and there's no clutch. So there's two pedals here, but one pedal drive means, except for an emergency, you never have to use the brake. It's all from the throttle. And when you turn it on, what happens is the second that you take your foot off of that throttle, it brakes. Now, it doesn't brake like that, like a snapping brake. But what it does is it quickly brings you to a controlled stop. So it took me about 15 minutes or so to get used to it when we rented the electric vehicle last summer up in Ohio. I told you about that trip. And after about 15 minutes, it was the most fun that I had had in a new vehicle in quite some time. And the reason is that it suddenly becomes, you always like that experience in a car, whether it's a clutch or whether it's power braking or hitting the throttle. And so it became part of that experience on how far from a stoplight or a stop sign I had to let off the throttle for it to come to a full and complete stop
By itself
safely. And that's what one pedal drive is. It is so much fun. And then once you get used to it, it's like, wow, cars have been like this. It's almost like they should have always been like that. And I know that's a very polarizing
And maybe that's good for
statement.
city driving or flat land driving.
Yeah.
I mean, if it'd be different in the hills and the mountainsides.
So now
and
here's
stuff like
the thing. How about on the highway, though, when you just want to, kind of ease back? That's where I found the one pedal drive a little tougher to work with, because it would break me too much when I was doing, let's say, 65 miles an hour in a 65 zone, of course. And I would find that I'd slow down to 40 much quicker than I would in an internal combustion engine.
But that's kind of taken care of, like as Alan says, maybe just cruise control.
Correct.
Or if you did something like that.
Well, you could do that as well. But for city driving, that one pedal drive is cool. Now, what happens when somebody who's not paying attention comes right out in front of you? Then you've still got your brake pedal there, and you just jump to that. So you can override that one pedal drive simply by going to that traditional brake pedal on the left.
So there's a lot going on in this particular car. Not only this electronic side of things
Yep.
and the sound that we talked about yesterday,
Right.
but the actual performance of the vehicle.
Well, that's right. And speaking of performance, unbridled extended is something here that means that you will get that full 480 horsepower, and not just for limited amounts of time. So you can put it there. Now that's going to bring your battery down quicker, but it means that, let's say that if, you need to have that full 480 horsepower, there you go. Track use only and not for public roads.
Not for public
A
roads.
performance driving experience. There you go. Isn't life a performance driving experience, ladies and gentlemen?
Unbridled extent.
So there you go. And even on the one pedal drive, you can find out some information on that. Let me close that and let me jump on
every
over
one
here.
of these things have it.
Allows you to slow down the vehicle to bring it to a stop. You guys can read what it says. And that's it. And not available when cruise control is active. But that's cool. And propulsion sound, let's read and see what that says. Generates sound inside the vehicle when you accelerate to enhance the driving experience.
So the videos we saw are pretty much the sound inside the vehicle and not outside the vehicle.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah, it's a cabin sound. It's not an outside sound. And here's the key thing. All of these different things are meant to enhance your driving experience. The one pedal drive, the propulsion sound, the unbridled extended for track use only, so on and so forth. So Ford has really gone to great lengths to make sure that this is not a boring vehicle. And with 480 horsepower off the gate, without having to wait for the torque curve like we talked about it yesterday, this thing is a fun driving experience.
And even some of the design elements I've noticed,
Yep.
You've got this dial here for all of the dials controls that you would do that, but it's the same kind of dial that you have for your your transmission stuff.
And you've got an electronic brake here. You don't have a pull handle on it. That's cool. You got some shout outs saying that you do have the upper trim level on the Mach-E. Remember the GT Performance Edition is...
That's right. This is the Performance
This
Edition.
is the top-of-the-line Performance Mach-E GT available from Ford. You got a little shout-out here to, to the Mustang. And again, I'm not here to argue whether it is or isn't. But, that image is right there for you as well. We've all become accustomed to these steering wheel controls on our new vehicles, so they follow a standard sort of pattern. With your cruise control information over here on the left, your hands-free calling, as well as your volume here on the right. That's pretty standard across all new vehicles.
Right.
Yeah, cool stuff.
So we've got 7 more days left.
7 more days left. One person will win this, plus the flow charger, plus the... we will pay the taxes, the federal taxes on there. Something's happening here on the screen, and it's trying to pair to an iPhone or something there. So there you go. So guys, show it some love. Get your entries to win. If you'd also like to experience the other product in the Ford portfolio, that is a plug-in and not a gas internal combustion engine machine, the Ford Lightning EV with the extended range that's over here in the garage as well. The good news about that is that you'll also win a Ford Mustang with it. That's called our Dark Horse Lightning Dream Giveaway. This, of course, is our Mach-E.
But this one is ending in 7 days.
This one ends in 7 days. So get your entries on this first. You have plenty of time to get your entries on the Mach-E, not on the Mach-E, on the Dark Horse and the Lightning. And of course, Roush is ending in another month, and Classic Corvette is ending in another 40-some days.
Right.
I'm out of breath, PJ.
Alan just said, just made another donation. We certainly appreciate that.
We appreciate that.
Definitely.
On behalf of the 8 great charities. Tell you what, guys, we ran a little long here today on it, but it was fun. We didn't spend a whole lot of time over the last 11 months hanging out inside of the Mach-E, so I'm glad that we did today. We'll see you tomorrow with more great fun, more great action, more great grand prizes. It only happens right here in our favorite place on earth, the Dream Giveaway Garage, and we will see you.